So you think we need one more? You think we need one more? What's going on, folks, and welcome back to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm your host, PBO, and you're joining me on another edition of our top list. That's right, folks. Top 4 plus one more. It's our top list, folks, and we do a top of everything. Top actors, top movies, top directors, top franchises, top music, top food you get delivered by Uber Eats. That's coming too, folks. Trust me. I'm telling you, it's coming. All right. Well, you're joining me on another edition, and with the addition of Crazy Rich Asians coming out this weekend at the box office and about a big elaborate wedding, I decided, why not we dig back into the DVDs and Blu-rays and find the best wedding comedies all time of movies. So here is our top 4 plus one more wedding comedies. All right, well, let's kick this sucker off. Coming in at number 4, folks, we got 1998, The Wedding Singer, directed by Frank Corsia, starring Adam Sandler and Miss Drew Barrymore. It's the story of a down-on-his-luck wedding singer who is basically the man at one point and is a wedding singer for all weddings and different events, and then his girlfriend breaks off their wedding and does not show up, leaves him at the altar, and now he's a sad, depressed wedding singer, and we get to go into the trials and tribulations that he goes through. He also falls in love and has a crush with his co-worker, who is played by Miss Drew Barrymore, and then a romantic chase, ensues like all wedding comedies, and at the end, he gets the girl, just like classic stuff. So there you go. All right. Coming in at number 3, folks, we got 1998, The Wood. That's right, directed by Mr. Rick Fukugama. Sorry if I mispronounced that, sir. He also gave us the brand new Dope that came out in 2015. This is starring Omar Epps, Ty Diggs, and Richard T. Jones. Man, this is a classic movie. The story of 3 friends, and on the wedding day of Mr. Rowland, he goes missing, and now his buddies, Mike, and I cannot remember the other gentleman that Richard T. Jones plays, I can't remember his name for some reason, go searching for him, and they have to find their buddy on his wedding day because he's missing, and they got to find the groom. And during this whole time, they start to reminisce about their time growing up in the wood, in Inglewood, California, and all the different adventures they went through and the craziness they had to go through to get to this point now where they're seeing their best friend married off. It's a great movie, hilarious in so many ways. Classic tale of LA and the whole way it works and everything. Just a great movie, funny comedy, a great guy side story of weddings, which you really don't get to see that much of, and I thought that was probably one of the best parts about the whole thing is you get to see the guy perspective, which is really cool. All right, and that brings us to our wild card, folks. And our wild card for wedding comedies is 2002's Sweet Home Alabama, directed by Mr. Andy Tennant, starring Miss Reese Witherspoon, Josh Lucas, and Patrick Dempsey. This is a young story of a young girl that came out of Alabama who wanted bigger and better things and went to New York to become a fashion designer and ends up meeting the actual mayor of New York's son and falling in love with him. But lo and behold, she has a secret past, and she was married before in her previous life before she moved to New York in Alabama, and she has to now go home to Alabama to try to get an annulment so she can marry her new man that she's in love with, who is the mayor's son. And of course, all hilarity ensues. Like always, Reese Witherspoon is amazing in this movie. It's really funny. It's got a hilarious concept of, bringing the city down to Alabama and not being able to find it because she becomes this big fashion designer, only at the end for her to fall for the one true love that she truly falls for, and she ends up going back with her husband, which is just such a great little story when it comes to romantic and wedding comedies. All right, let's move on to our number 2 on wedding comedies. And then coming in at number 2 at 2011, we have Bridesmaids, folks. That's right. Directed by Paul Feig, starring Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Rose Byrne, Melissa McCarthy, Ellen Kemper. This movie is hilarious. This time we get to meet the Bridesmaids, and this is a great story. 2 friends, best friends from Milwaukee, growing up together, and they use each other. They lean on each other, and then one has a man who finally pops a question. She's over ecstatic. The other one becomes a bridesmaid, but she's going through her own difficulties. And basically, the bridesmaid just starts ruining, the maid of honor starts ruining the wedding step by step for her bride. And it is a classic tale. You bring in all the other great lady characters that go with this, and this thing is hilarious. It is right up there with Hangover as far as just crazy, over-the-top comedies that make absolutely no sense and are just wild, and you cannot wait for the next scene because you have no idea what's going to happen. All I know is that scene in the dress trying in the wedding dress store is probably one of the best scenes ever put on television, and watching women go through it is absolutely hilarious. That's a great one. But alright, folks, and without further ado, let's kick it off to our number one movie on our top 4 plus one more wedding comedies. And I bring you 1991, The Father of the Bride. That's right, folks, directed by Charles Sire, starring Steve Martin, Diane Keaton, Kimberly Williams, and Mr. Martin Short. This is the classic tale that all men can understand. One day, you have this happy home, and you got Martin's Steve Martin playing basically the father of the bride, and he's living in this great house, and he's got his 2 kids, and then all of a sudden he watches his daughter grow and raise, and then go to college, and then meet a man, and she comes back, and she tells him she's going to get married, and of course, he loses it. And it's all about how the father loses it because he's losing his baby girl. And it's just the whole hilarity of building up to the wedding and all the different things that he has to take care of and all the different nuances that go with it. His blue and black tux. Just a classic great movie. All for it to end on a spectacular wedding that they have at their house with, always having issues, but everything goes out without a hitch. And of course, it might not be the best day for him, but it's the best day for his daughter, and that's all that matters in the end after it all ends. So, woo! There you go, folks. There's our top 4 plus one more wedding comedies. Let's do a quick little recap. All right, at number 4, I got The Wedding Singer. At number 3, I got The Wood. My wild card is Sweet Home Alabama. My number 2 is Bridesmaids, and the number 1 movie for my top 4 plus one more wedding comedies is The Father of the Bride. Alright, folks, well, there's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments and likes down below. Come back next time because we got a whole lot more fun for you. Until next time, guys. Good night, Ted.